I picked up these two GTX 1070s for $30 each without testing them, and today we're going to find out if they will and I was scammed, or if they're going to work like the seller promised. I found these GPUs listed on a local classified site called KSL Classifieds. The seller listed them for $35 each, along with a few other models for $45 and $60. Ultimately, I offered them $30 each for two of the blower style cards, as these were in the best shape, so I kind of decided to take the gamble. They were cheap enough that if I got scammed, I could live with the consequences, and at the very least I could make a video out of it. Also, the guy was a bit rough around the edges and looked like he could use a few bucks, so I didn't really want to leave him empty-handed after we'd taken the time to meet up. So I just picked up some GPUs. These are 1070s, GTX 1070s, blower style cards. Honestly, they're not in the best condition. Like, this one's pretty bent. And I felt a bit off about this like interaction and transaction from the beginning. But for $30 each, I couldn't not pick them up. So we'll see if they actually work. The seller said that if there's any issues, just let them know and they'd replace them or refund me. So I'm not super confident in that, if I'm being honest. But we will get home and test them and see if we got good deals or if we're scammed or something. Maybe I should have looked at them a little closer. But we'll see. Once I got home, I installed the cards onto a test bench, and with each card installed, the system booted up just fine. I was both a little surprised and relieved, honestly, but I would need to do further testing to make sure that they worked under load without any issue, and they also needed a pretty good cleaning. So first, I loaded up Unigine Heaven for both of them, and after about 20 minutes or so, both of them were still running stable, and I didn't see any artifacting or anything like that. Both of them were hitting a maximum temperature of about 83 degrees. Next up, cleaning time. As I started taking apart the first card, the first thing I noticed was how many screws are in these blower style coolers. I didn't count, but there had to have been around 25 screws per card just to get the shroud and GPU heatsink off. And this card was bad. Lots of dust, animal hair, and even spots where moisture and dust had turned into a nice muddy substance. The thermal paste was also super dry, and probably has never really been repasted. It took a little bit of time, but with some rubbing alcohol, a toothbrush, and some microfiber rags, I was able to get the inside much cleaner. I replaced the thermal pads with some fresh ones, as the old ones were starting to go bad and were just dirty. Then, as I was getting the card put back together, I realized that I had broken off 4 of the 6 screw holes holding the GPU shroud in place. Apparently they were pretty brittle and fragile, and I didn't notice until I'd already broken a few of them off. Nothing a little electrical tape can't fix though. With the first 1070 cleaned and back together, I put it back on the test bench, and after running the card under load for about an hour or so, I saw about a 2-degree difference in the maximum temperatures. I was a little underwhelmed by this. I thought the difference would be better, but at least I know that the card is cleaned up now. So I saw a maximum temperature of 83 degrees before cleaning, and then afterwards the maximum sat at 81 degrees. I then got to work cleaning the other card. This one didn't get cleaned quite as deep as the other one because some of the screws were pretty tight and stripped away very easily, so I wasn't able to get all the pieces apart. I did clean it as best as I could, and luckily I was still able to replace the thermal paste and dust out the heatsink, but I wasn't able to replace the thermal pads on this one. Funny enough, testing this card out, it ran cooler than the other card that I was able to clean out better, hitting a maximum temperature of 79 degrees after about an hour or so of running Unigine Heaven. So at this point I was feeling even more relieved. They both seemed to work well, and I'm going to test them in some games now just to make sure that they perform well in a gaming workload also.
You don't have to fight alone.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Maximum pulse! You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon!
Oh,
Razor
I
radiate!
need assistance. When we work together.
and they do work well for gaming. Whether in a graphically demanding game like Cyberpunk or more of an esports oriented, high frame rate game like Overwatch, both of these GPUs worked great and had similar performance. Somehow I didn't get scammed buying these $30 GTX 1070s. They both work without issue and should be awesome for putting in some PCs for flipping. Honestly, at this point, I feel like my luck for picking up good deals should have been lost by now. Maybe I'll get scammed sometime soon, or maybe I should try to get scammed sometime soon just to get it over with. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have a great day.